Hi, I'm Harry Toozle, and I'm going to ask you 7 questions to focus on what really matters in your business. Now, these questions have come about because I've worked with business people and owners over a long time and have read extensively. And with the amount of information out there, it's often difficult to cut through the clutter, to get rid of the noise and to see what really matters. But this really truly is what matters. It's a bit like saying, where is the target? What do I have to hit to be successful in business? And of course, there's many answers, and people say you have to be happy and you have to be content. And we keep on adding layers and layers, and after a while, we don't know what's in the middle and what's there. But there's certain things, if we don't achieve them, we are not going to succeed in business. And it's not about being nice. It's not about being hard. It's not about being difficult. It's not about being nasty. It's not about being very nice to customers. These are the 7 questions. You've probably looked at them. So let's just quickly recap. Are you satisfied with, number 1, your profits? Number 2, your sales? Number 3, your customer base? Number 4, your products and services? Number 5, your plan to improve all of the above? Number 6, who is going to help you? And number 7, where you see yourself 5 years from now. Now that may sound simple, but if you consider the first 4, profits, sales, customers, and products and services, in terms of where you are now and where you'll be in the future, in a year from now, you'll get a good idea where your business is going, and you'll be able to assess and evaluate whether you're happy with your answers and your ability to achieve that. And then that's what 5, 6, and 7 is about. Are you happy with your plan to improve? Do you know it's going to help you? And do you have some idea of where you'll see yourself 5 years from now? Because, 1 year from now is goals, but in the longer term, it's more about our dreams, our vision, what we want to be and what we want to achieve. Now, you'll be challenged to set goals, to reflect and to evaluate. Set goals for the next year, reflect where you are, where you want to be, and what you can do about it. And I'll make you evaluate how satisfied you are with where you are currently in your answers and your plans. But when I look at this, I'm thinking of something that Carlos Santana, who's now in his already 70, great musician, Grammy Award winner, talked about. And he talks about music and him using the instruments, not using mechanical or too much machines, as he calls them. And he says music is about the emotion, the feeling, the passion. But you know what? Life is about that. And business is part of life. Consider the fact that if you are not passionate and enthusiastic about what you're doing, many of these goals will be a grind and unexciting. They'll just be numbers on a piece of paper that you are setting yourself because you think you must do it. So my other challenge would be, as you do it, connect with your emotions and your feelings and your passion in this, and ask yourself that question too as you go through this. Do not just focus on the fact that you want to achieve a certain amount of money or wealth. That's important, but if that's what it's all about for you, your business is not going to support the life you want to live, and you're not going to make a great difference in this world, to be really honest. Now you are going to use this worksheet. I want you to look at the worksheet, print it, download it, and use this worksheet. Summarize on this sheet the key areas that you want to achieve in. So these are the 7 questions in a table form. And I want you to summarize all your answers there. Is it clear? Yes, no? And just answer that honestly. And then in the next 2 pages after that, there is limited space for notes, deliberately. Because this is not just about taking notes, it's about reflection. Yeah, you can use more paper. Of course, you can use both sides of the paper. But do this quickly. Do it in under 20 minutes. I promise you will be finished in under 20 minutes. And then consider and reflect where you're going with your business. Now, it's a bit like I'm trying to achieve some clarity here. Let's wipe some guns off our window and see what is really important and what we should focus on. And I am the firm believer that if you answer these 7 questions honestly and you reflect on your emotions, reflect on your ability, reflect on how you can achieve them, you will become more clear about what you want to achieve, the implications of what you want to achieve, and a raft of other issues that will come up as I ask these questions. Now, I offer complimentary business breakthrough consultation, which covers the same ground as this, but it's interactive, and I can ask challenging questions as I do it, and of course I can go into more depth in certain areas, and it's accompanied by a workbook. So that complimentary business breakthrough consultation is absolutely free. That's what complimentary means. So I follow it up with a breakthrough reinforcement where I basically ask you, you've set certain goals and objectives. I come back a month later and ask you that, and I say, well, how are you done now? Have you done this? And on that note, I would want you to remember that consider all the questions. This is what's in my book. Set goals as you answer them. Answer the questions, set the goals, put the numbers down. And then afterwards reflect on these answers. As I said, numerical goals, write down your reflection, and then afterwards evaluate. And do this in real time as I'm talking to you. So I'm going to go through those questions one by one, slowly, make some comments about them, and I want you to write down the numbers, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, whether you have the skills, whether you have the staff, whether you have the business to do what you want to do. And you should actually come up with an answer that says, yes, I really want this, not I should do it. So the first one, how profitable are you? And how profitable do you want to be? Now, just put a number down there in terms of your net profit at the moment and your gross profit. Do not look at your financial records and scratch through them. I absolutely stop people from doing that. I literally will shut it down if they try, because I want you to remember things. And if you don't remember, that's another learning experience in itself. Because these 7 questions are the 7 most important things in my view in a business. And if we do not have it up here, I'm not saying you must never go back to written plans, but some things we should be part of us. It should be something that if we talk about it, we know. And my experience in people in business that's successful, and it's running fairly substantial businesses, they have answers for all of these fairly quickly, on their fingertips. Now, profit has got a strange dimension. We think of the money that falls out at the end of the business, that's ours, which could be correct. But what people forget is that they have to pay themselves. Now, this sounds obvious to some people, but others will not think about this. You have to pay yourself. So before you work out your net profit, you should deduct your own wages as the CEO or general manager that you should be getting. Now, how you do it accounting-wise or tax-wise is another issue. What I'm saying is you should think of your net profit as something you get for your investment, for your risk, for the time given up with family and stress and a whole range of costs that you are paying for this business. Often money, but also others. And then that cost should not come out of your paycheck, which is 2 separate things. You get paid for the work you do as a boss, and you get paid for the investment you make. Now, the next question is, obviously, if you want to make profit and gross profit, you have to sell. So how much sales are you making right now, and where do you want to be a year from now? Now, you get the idea that the year from now is what's really important. And as you reflect on this, both this one and net profit is a result of focusing on costs and making sales. Now, sales, what will it take to get those sales? What effort, what customers, what will you sell? What sales team do you need? How many people do you need to see to make a certain amount of sales? How many customers do you need? How much do you need to charge to make the right gross profit? You see that I know it's not totally separate, it's interrelated, but that's what I'm going to ask you. How much do you need to make a year from now to get to the net profit you'd like to make? And often when people think about this, they think about the challenge of it, they think about how to achieve it. And what I would like you to think about as we go through this too, is that in my book on Take Charge, I say how to set goals, which you should, one of the things you should do is reflect and think about the obstacles you'll overcome and how you'll do that. Not just the rewards at the end. Because if you have a plan for achieving, you have a plan for succeeding. Now, next is, who are your customers right now, and who do you want your customers to be a year from now? Now, this can be an exercise that can take days and weeks in itself, depending on how big your business is. But simply put, I want you to think of the main customer groups you have, or make a list of your key customers. If you have a small customer base and you sell a large amount to small customers, if you're a retail shop, then you'll think of customer groups. It all depends on your business. But bottom line, you need to know who you are selling to. And then you have to have an idea, who do you want to sell to in the future? And you can see the minute I ask you that question, you think of the marketing, you think of the sales and the sales team and all the other implications that need it. And you think of the next one, product. What will I sell them? And what do they want? And how will their tastes change? Now, this is almost impossible to answer. But the more you think and the better your answers are, the more competitive you will be. Now, next one is, what products and services are you selling right now, and what would you like to sell a year from now? Now, this will help you figure out what will happen in the market. Now, this is not necessarily going to be correct, but what are you selling right now? Can you sell the same things a year from now? And can you sell some more? That's the bottom line questions around this. So it's about product innovation. It's about manufacturing, ordering, finding new suppliers. You can start seeing that there's a whole raft of things that goes around in your head when I say new products or I say existing products. You start thinking of products that's going out of fashion, products that is reaching end of life, and then you start thinking of new innovations, and you think of what's happening in the future. And you would have read in your industry what's going on. You'll have an idea what's coming and what's going to be required. That's what this is about. But what you're going to do is put these answers on that one page, the first 4 answers that we're up to now. Put the numbers down, and put the numbers down for where you want to be. And then put that brief reflection, because at the end we're going to evaluate again. Now, the next question is, what will it take to get there? This is from 1 to 4 to get to the 1 year, to reach your profit, your sales, your customer, and your product service targets. That's targets. I deliberately don't call it budgets. I want you to set targets and say, what will it take to achieve those targets? So what will it take? And if you go through each one and you say, well, what needs to be done? You may have already made those notes. So this may not be anything special or different or new, but what will it take to get there? And I would look at my Take Charge, because what it will take is every day to be positive and optimistic and deal with adversity. I cover that. It will take clear goal setting in such a way that you think of how to overcome the obstacles, how to achieve it, not just visualize and dream about what you're going to have one day, but what you're going to do and how you're going to overcome obstacles. And then think about every step you take. And of course, the next thing is to do all of this, who's going to help you? What teams do you need? And this could be people in your business, it could be staff, employees, it could be suppliers. Could be customers who could help you. It could even be competitors that you meet up and team up with. I'm not talking about colluding against customers, but I'm talking about working together so we do not compete in a way that kills ourselves and our industry. So who is going to help you? And this immediately starts you thinking through all those goals and the teams and what you need and who you need and the skills they have and what you can pay them, and you can carry on with this. So I want you to make a simple answer on, make a list, just quickly jot down who can help you. Now the next question would be, where do you see yourselves 5 years from now? Because if we achieve goals in 1 year, a lot of achieving that goal takes effort, takes hard work, takes dealing with adversity, takes managing, dealing with staff, grumpy customers, suppliers that don't always deliver on time. So to make all that worthwhile, we have to have an idea. In 5 years' time, I'm going to end up here. I am going to achieve this. This is what I want to be. This is where I want to end up. Do you have that vision, that idea of 5 years from now? Now you can go back 10, 20 years into the future. I just want you to say 5 years, because the world changes so quickly today that you can see what happened 5 years ago. We almost didn't have some of the social media we have today. Now, that's the 7 questions. I've deliberately asked those questions in such a way that makes you think. Think of your emotions, your passions, your enthusiasm. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we are going to evaluate. We're going to make a reflective assessment of how satisfied you are with your answers and take stock of your current situation and the answers you provided, how satisfied you are with each of the following. So that table is at the end of your worksheet, and this is what that table looks like. I want you to look at that table right now. And as you can see, it's very simple. Just tick an answer next to each one. Now, before you do that, I want you to just look at me and consider this. The reason I do this quickly is so one has an overall picture of where you're going. And usually the things that's top of mind that bothers you the most will come up first. But because I've covered some key areas, even areas that you may not have had on the top of your mind would have come up. And then this gives you an overall perspective on how satisfied are you now, because you'd have already had this gut feel as you answered about how satisfied you are and what needs to be done. This is just a summary of your overall reflection about how satisfied you are with where you are and where you want to be. So quickly just tick out that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Are you totally dissatisfied or are you very satisfied? Just tick them. So as I say, tick them. Gross profit, tick. Net profit, tick. Sales, tick. Customer base, tick. Products and services, tick. Clear plans to achieve your goals, tick. Knowing who will help you, tick. Clarity about the 5-year direction, tick. It should give you an idea where the gaps are and what you should be doing about them. So how do you feel when you answer these questions? In control? On top of things? Clear about the future? Satisfied with your current results? Confident about the future? And you could actually add many, many more. How did you feel and what is your beliefs about this? I hope this has helped you. And as I said, you can always get that breakthrough consultation from me. But this is the type of thing I like doing. I hope you have thought through the key things in your business and you can see that many things sold out there doesn't just focus on this because, well, everyone wants to sell something new and unique and different. Well, there isn't something terribly unique and different in business. Business is always about achieving results. And often we get hung up about the techniques and the way to get to the results. And we lose focus of that key goal. So don't lose focus of your key goal. Keep focused. So that was 7 questions to focus on what really matters in your business. And I hope it's helped you attain clarity of your target. And I hope that it has cleared up some of the fog and given you some clarity. All that remains is to wish you a great life and a very successful business. Thanks for listening.